Samuel Reed believed this Tuesday would be just like every other Tuesday. He had no idea that before the sun went down, his quiet, invisible life would change forever. For 32 years, he had arrived before everyone else, not to lead meetings or sign million-dollar contracts, but to prepare the building for people who rarely noticed he existed. To them, he was just the janitor. But by the end of this day, everyone would know his name. By the time the first employees arrived, Samuel had already transformed the building. The marble floors gleamed beneath the morning light. Every window sparkled. Every desk sat exactly where it belonged. His work touched every corner of the building, yet almost no one ever noticed the man behind it. To most people, excellence had simply become expected. At exactly 8:30 every morning, the atmosphere inside Carter Global Holdings changed. Conversations became quieter, postures became straighter. Even the security guards stood a little taller. Someone important had arrived. Samuel noticed the change, but like every other morning, he simply went back to work. Her name was Emma Carter. At just 38 years old, she had built a reputation as one of the most respected business leaders in the country. Every decision she made could shape the future of thousands of employees and millions of dollars in business. Yet beneath the tailored suits and executive titles, she never forgot that every great company was built by ordinary people doing extraordinary work. She just hadn't met Samuel Reed yet. For weeks, perhaps even months, their mornings had crossed the same hallway. One arrived carrying the weight of an entire company. The other carried a mop, a ring of keys, and 3 decades of quiet service. Neither of them knew that an ordinary conversation
Here are the last
was
of them.
about to change
Thank you so much. I
both
appreciate
of their
this.
lives.
Happy to help.
It lasted less than 30 seconds. To Samuel, it was simply another polite exchange. But for Emma, something about that quiet man stayed in her thoughts. Emma thought about Samuel for only a few minutes that morning. It was nothing extraordinary, just a man helping her pick up a few papers. But there was something she couldn't quite explain. He had moved through that hallway like someone who had been there forever. And perhaps he had. Samuel knew every hallway, every office, every elevator that occasionally stopped working, every corner of the building that needed attention before anyone else noticed.
You know this building pretty well.
After 32 years, ma'am, you get to know a few things.
32 years?
And for the first time, Emma wondered if the man everyone ignored might be the man everyone should have been paying attention to. But Samuel Reed's life didn't end when the last employee left the building. Every evening at exactly 6 o'clock, he would hang his uniform, collect his keys, and quietly disappear into the city. To the people at Carter Global Holdings, he was the man who cleaned their offices. But outside those walls, Samuel was something else entirely. He was a father, a neighbor, a friend, and to the small group of people who truly knew him, he was the man they could always count on. And if you had asked Samuel what mattered most to him, he wouldn't have mentioned his job. He wouldn't have mentioned money. He would have simply smiled and told you about the people he loved. The next morning, Samuel returned to work as he always did. But Emma couldn't stop thinking about him. 32 years was a long time. Long enough to watch a company grow, long enough to see people come and go, long enough to know things that most people had forgotten. So Emma did something she rarely did. She started asking questions.
Maya, when did Samuel start working here? I'm not sure. 32 years ago, right? That's what you said yesterday. No, I mean, Does anyone actually know why? I don't think anyone's ever asked. Samuel Reed, December 4th, 1982? That's impossible. Oh my. Decades? He's been here for decades. That's incredible.
The photograph was more than 30 years old. The faces were younger. The building was smaller, and Carter Global Holdings was barely recognizable. But there was Samuel, standing among the very people who had built the company from the ground up. Emma stared at the photograph again. Then she noticed something that made her pause.
That can't be right.
Right. Maya, I need you to check something for me. Samuel Reed's original position when he joined the company. His original position.
Because suddenly, Emma wasn't wondering why Samuel had stayed for 32 years. She was wondering why a man who had once stood at the beginning of everything had ended up cleaning the floors. In those early days, Samuel had a future that seemed almost impossible to lose. He was young, he was talented, and the people building Carter Global Holdings believed he would one day be part of its leadership. But life had other plans. One phone call changed everything, and suddenly Samuel was forced to choose between the future he had worked so hard to build and someone who needed him more. So Samuel made his choice. He stepped away from the future everyone expected him to have. And he went home. The call was about his daughter. She was young, and something had happened that meant Samuel could no longer afford to be away from home. And nobody at Carter Global Holdings ever knew why. Emma had spent years surrounded by the history of Carter Global Holdings, but she had never thought to look for Samuel's name in it. Until now. Samuel hadn't simply worked there. He had helped build the foundation the company was standing on. And somehow, for 32 years, no one had thought to ask him about it. Emma could have called the archives. She could have asked the board. She could have ordered someone to investigate Samuel's history, but she didn't. Instead, she went looking for the one person who could tell her the truth, Samuel himself.
Samuel, can I ask you something?
Of course, ma'am.
I found this in the archives.
I remember this.
Your name is everywhere.
That was a long time ago.
What happened?
Life happened.
Then my daughter got
I'm
sick.
so sorry,
She needed
sweetheart.
me, so I left.
I love you so much.
And when you came back,
The position was gone.
they didn't give it back to you?
No.
And you stayed?
I needed a job, and they needed someone to clean the floors.
You never told anyone?
It wasn't their story to tell.
Emma couldn't stop thinking about Samuel's story. For 32 years, the company had celebrated its history. But somehow, the man who had helped build that history had been forgotten. So the next morning, Emma called a company meeting. And for the first time in decades, Samuel Reed was invited to sit in the room instead of cleaning it.
I wanted to take a moment to introduce someone truly remarkable in our company.
For a moment, nobody knew what to say. The man they had walked past every morning, the man they had barely noticed, had been there before most of them ever
You don't
arrived.
have to do all this.
Why not?
Because I didn't do it for recognition.
But sometimes, recognition isn't about what you ask for. Sometimes it's about finally
Thank you all.
receiving what you should have been given all along. The next evening, Samuel walked out of Carter Global Holdings the same way he had done thousands of times before.
Thank you for
Quietly,
everything.
without asking
You
for
too.
anything.
Have a good
But
evening.
this time, someone finally saw him. He went home to the people who had always known who he was. A father, a man who had chosen love over ambition, and a man who had never once regretted that choice. Because sometimes, the people who seem invisible are carrying the greatest stories. Sometimes, the quietest person in the room has sacrificed more than anyone will ever know. And sometimes, the greatest success isn't the title beside your name. It's the people who still call you home. If Samuel's story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching.